Hey guys, Demon here. This is the intro, not the actual video, but hope you enjoy it. Hello guys, Demon here, doing a Rick and Morty review. This episode, pretty damn interesting. And I know I've never done Rick and Morty before. This is a new review series, I guess. And I'm mainly going to focus on the episodes that are coming out right now. But eventually I will go back, as I do in every series, like as I did in Adventure Time and Steven Universe. I'll go back and start reviewing them from the first one to the current one I'm reviewing now. But until then, let's start off with these current episodes that are coming out. And this episode is called the Ricklantis, or the Ricklantis Mixup or something like that. I think that's what it's called, or Ricklantis Mixup. That's what it's called. But whatever. Something like that. Sorry. So this episode starts off with Rick and Morty going to Atlantis, but lo and behold, the Citadel is getting rebuilt. And Rick and Morty come there to ask for their patrons, like their support and their money, to help her build the Citadel. And our Morty says, like, he's the one that killed it pretty much. And then his Morty tries to talk them into it still because he's dumb, I guess. So it's pretty funny little introduction there. And then we don't get to go to Atlantis with them, but we get to go back to the Citadel. And we get to see the inner workings of the Citadel. And I gotta say, it's a lot different than I thought it was. Because we only got to see the main honchos of the Citadel before, which are like the main Ricks of the Citadel. And it looked really technology-based and stuff. But this looks like totally reimagined and stuff like that. It basically looks like a city full of only Ricks and Mortys. And some Mortys are like smart, and some Mortys are dumb, and some Mortys are, it's like, there's like a section of like a Morty town almost. It's weird. And there's a Morty stripper bar. That's weird. I don't know why Mortys go there to watch Mortys, I guess. I don't know. If you have sex with yourself, is that considered masturbation or having sex? I'm just saying. Who knows what that's considered? We see the Morty school. And the Morty school head teacher, like the head Rick teacher, or the only teacher that we saw, he kind of reminds me of Snake off of Harry Potter, like the teacher there. I think his name is Snake, right? Because he has like that long hair and stuff, and he just like reminds me of him so much. I don't know why, he just does. And we see the lizard Morty, and we see a few other Mortys there as well. Like we see a fat Morty, we see a glasses Morty, a clone Morty, and we also see, not there, but in the Morty like residential area, which is basically full of a lot of Mortys that don't have Ricks anymore. We saw a like purple elephant sort of Morty, so that's pretty interesting, I guess. So we see all these Mortys. We see a cop Morty even, with a cop Rick, and the cop Morty is not the rookie. The Rick is the rookie. And that's like, it just has like a bunch of separate like little mini series in this one episode showing how the Citadel works and stuff. And we see that Morty's work and Rick's work, which is weird because Rick is like a genius and they don't want to work. So I'm surprised they have like the Citadel full of people working. That's just odd to me, but whatever, I guess. I guess the higher power Ricks like tricked the lower power Ricks. I don't know how that happened, but it did, I guess. But anyways, it all evolves around a Morty trying to become president. And this Morty, I'm not going to spoil it right now. I'm going to spoil it at the end of the video. But it's pretty interesting because this Morty's gained a lot of traction. He's saying a lot of good things and a lot of right things, and it's really interesting to see how he's like getting traction with Ricks and Mortys, because he was only getting traction with Mortys, but now he's getting traction with Ricks because he's smart, a lot smarter than normal. And then there's this Rick cookie called Simple Rick, and it's made out of this hopes and it's made out of like the good feeling of Simple Rick himself, I guess, because there's a Simple Rick that liked to work with wooden stuff, and the Council of Morty stole him or something like that and hooked him up to a machine, which is kind of messed up because he never got to see his daughter grow up, I guess, because that was the last memory he had before they stole him. Well, that's really messed up. And then one of the Ricks that worked at that factory got pissed off at his boss for not choosing him to be the new boss because Cool Rick got the new boss job. Kills him, goes to Simple Rick, throws him through a portal that he thinks is going to lead them to freedom, but it leads him to Blender World. I guess that's a thing. Simple Rick gets killed, and then that Rick gets hooked up to the machine, thinking that he got his freedom back, which is weird. It's kind of confusing at the end there. It's kind of like a time loop thing, and then it's just like a commercial saying, Simple Rick. And there's a news broadcast, and all three of the news people, like, one's like normal Rick, and then one's like a scar, and then one has like a half of his face is melted off. It's kind of weird. But yeah, and then the school full of Mortys, it's all about a wishing well, or a wishing portal, and the clone Morty jumped into the wishing portal. So the clone Morty jumped into the wishing portal, and the other ones threw their valuable stuff into it because it says that if you throw your valuable stuff into it, it will make your wish come true. And they don't believe that. But then their wishes started to come true. Like, Morty started to get treated a little bit better. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then the cop thing, it ends up in Rick or Morty Town, I guess, which is basically like a street full of Mortys. And plus there's a Morty stripper bar. Did I already touch on this? I'm not actually sure if I did. But if I didn't, there's a Morty stripper bar, and like Mortys are dancing and stuff, and I guess other Mortys masturbate to them or something like that. Let me ask you a question. Is it like having sex if you have sex with a clone of yourself, or is that masturbation? That's the question, right? Is that like fucking, or is that like masturbation, right? Because it's you, right? So you'd like agree with yourself to fuck yourself. So that would consider masturbation? But never mind about that. That's just my weird thought process. But anyways, it all the cop thing all ends up in that stripper bar after they kill crack cocaine, or pretty much crack cocaine, like Morty and crack cocaine Rick, I should say, and a gang of Mortys. And also the cop Rick got stabbed by Morty. That's pretty funny. So after they kill them, they go to the bar, and they're getting paid by this guy, but the cop Rick, he's a little bit fat. He looks old too, but he's just as young. He's just like, I want to be a normal kid. I want to be this. I want to be that, because he doesn't want to be a cop anymore. And he kills adult Rick or adult Morty. Sorry, I guess there's like a big Morty, but he's not actually big. He kills him, and rookie cop Rick kills Morty cop. Kind of confusing to say that. Kind of confusing to keep up with this whole episode, actually. Because there's so much going on. There's so much different plot lines and stuff like that. So much different plot points. But yeah, that's pretty interesting to see. And he surrenders and tells them what happens. He tells the police force what happened. And he gets let off. Because Morty becomes president after an attempted assassination. Because everybody thinks that he's the right Morty. Like, everybody thinks that he's gonna save them. And there's this part where he kisses a Rick baby. That's pretty funny. So he becomes president. And then at the end, he changes a lot of things. And it looks like it's turning into a dictatorship. And the guy that assassinated him was another guy that he fired. Was another Morty that he fired. And that Morty had information from a Rick. What Rick? I don't know what Rick, but it was a Rick. Because every Rick looks the same, so I don't know what Rick that was. But it was a Rick. And then Morty got the information, tried to assassinate him, but he didn't die. And it's pretty damn interesting to tell the truth, you know. And then at the end, all the Ricks were sitting around with the Morty president, and they were all like saying, "We don't care if it's a Morty, a Rick, or even like your dad." I forgot his name. Sorry. Or Jerry. They said, "We don't care if it's a Morty, Rick, or Jerry who's running this place. We're the ones who's running this place, like the rich people, right?" And then Morty says, "Raise up your hands if you agree with that." And the majority of them did, and he just kills them all. Like, holy crap. And then they all get shoved into space because it's the Citadel and it's a floating spaceship. So they all get shoved into space. A bunch of changes happen, and it's turning more into a dictatorship, but it seems like it's changing for the better at the same time. Which is kind of interesting, I guess. I guess he's changing it more for the better because he doesn't want to... he probably doesn't want to alarm anybody. So that's interesting to see. And he kills all the rich Ricks. I don't know how they're richer than the other Ricks because they have the same IQ, but whatever. There's only one Rick that doesn't, and that's like that dumb Rick that was in the Morty school. That's kind of weird, but whatever. So at the end, the Morty that tried to assassinate President Morty tells them they gotta believe him, they gotta not let him do it, and they shoot him into space too, killing him. And we see the pictures that the Rick gave Morty. We see the pictures that the Rick gave Morty, the secret Rick that gave the fired Morty. We see the pictures, and it has an eye patch. Morty has an eye patch on one of those pictures, so that's evil Morty. Like, holy crap, evil Morty is back. Evil Morty is back. They said they were going to bring him back. I didn't know how they were going to bring him back in a big way, but dude, they did it. And holy crap, he took over the Citadel. Like, holy shit. That's awesome. That's epic. And then we go back to our Rick and our Morty, and they come back from Atlantis, and they're talking about how they got mermaid pussy, I guess. So I guess Rick and Morty got laid by mermaids, which is cool for them, I guess, because mermaids are hot. I don't know. I would assume mermaids are like mammals, maybe. Are mermaids like? Maybe they're like the sea cow. You know, because I'm pretty sure they have like human type vaginas, so maybe mermaids are just like that in the Rick and Morty verse. So Rick and Morty got laid by mermaids. Pretty weird to say because Morty never gets anything, but this time he got laid because whatever. So yeah, that's pretty interesting to see. And then at the end, Rick says, "We don't have to worry about that Citadel ever again because it's never ever going to impact our lives again." And, well, let's just say Evil Morty has some plans. He's just like, it's all just beginning pretty much. He's just like, ooh, it's all beginning. Oh, and I can't wait to see more of this. I don't think they're going to do any more this season, but I'm pretty sure next season they're probably going to do some, like, at least one episode of Evil Morty, and I want to see what it is, and it's going to be awesome. I hope it is, at least. I just like this show in general, and I like this episode. I love this episode. 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, 5 being average. This episode has to be an 8.5 for me, man. 8.5. Great episode. And as I said, I'm going to continue doing these reviews on the newer episodes, and eventually I'll go back and do the older episodes. I don't know how long it's going to take. Probably after I'm finished Adventure Time's older episodes. I only have like 13, maybe 10 left of those, and then I'm going to be finished. And I'll probably go back to this one, and then I'll probably go back on Rick and Morty. But until then, I'm just gonna be doing the new episodes, which is every week. And I'm pretty sure there's only like 4 or 5 episodes left or something like that, or maybe even 3. But yeah, anyways, hope you liked this review. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share. As always, my friends, stay sane. Peace. Evil Morty is back. Hey guys, this is the outro. Just want to remind you that if you want to subscribe, you can press the circle, or if you want to watch another video, you can press the square. And also, if you like the video, give a like, leave a comment, share it. As always, my friends, stay sane.